Hello, everyone. This is Geo, and this is I'm scared. And we are continuing on to the Ed Gein story, episode 3. This is getting a lot kookier than ever. Not scary. Honestly, it's really hard to scare me. But it is very interesting of just how deep and crazy his psyche is getting, right? So without any ado, let's hit that theme song and let's get into it.
If you are prone to scary easily, avoiding all the scary horror movies, you'll never watch but are intrigued to. Geo and Alex watch and review, so you don't have to. So you don't have to.
All right, so episode 3, the babysitter. All right, so we have to understand this is where he is now. We set off in episode 2 that he's starting to get fascinated with this stuff, right? Wanting to continue to do more. He's digging up bodies, lathering them up with lotion. Then he's starting to learn how to skin, how to, cut the body parts and all that stuff. And now he's wanting to, have others join babysitter. So he gets an opportunity to babysit some kids. Why? God knows what. I don't know why. I don't know how anybody would have been like, yeah, I would have. I know his girlfriend. I keep forgetting her name, and I really don't care because she ends up not being his girlfriend. She ends up being just a dick. But she convinces his mom to say, hey, have this guy who's already acting strange to take care of your kid. So he ends up driving. He goes with the kids, and then he tells them, like, you guys want to see something cool, and takes him over to his house and says, hey, I'm gonna show you a magic trick, and shows them the bodies or dismembered fingers and stuff like that. And they're just like, yeah, let's go home. And of course, he ends up getting in trouble because he takes the kids away from their house. And when he gets there, the parents are like, where have you been? Which any parent would have. I would have been pissed. I would have been like, hey, you stay in my house, damn it. Like, you do not go anywhere else. So we already saw that. But then that starts getting the town to start gossiping, right? They start realizing that there's something wrong with Ed. Not just his normal Ed is, weird, or Ed is a little bit strange behavior. We're talking about he is very, 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 very weird. And so we get to the point that he's returning home. He's carrying, covered bundle, footsteps. He's carrying stuff. So he's starting to get to the point where he is getting further into exactly what his persona was of doing what he did with the cadavers, right? And it was just crazy to see each portion of him go deeper into this obsession, right? It brings us to the thought of, was it really Ed who was obsessed, or did his psyche with his part of the brain that now has developed schizophrenia, was that the other side that was more into it? Because Ed at the beginning was like, he was kind of pushed to it because of that girl. Like, hey, check out the pictures of this dead bodies, from World War II and from the concentration camps. And also, look, here's a comic book of some lady who tortured the Jews and made stuff out of their skin and stuff like that. So, and like I said, in the last episode, it was discussed with Alfred Hitchcock, that is what kind of that comic book is what clicked into him to start doing these things or being interested in it. But was it really Ed interested, or did this other persona come in, right? And so now in this episode, you're seeing that he's getting into it and then also wanting to show others to, like, hey, come join, come check it out. And that's what makes it kind of very, very rough, because then whatever you're doing can stop becoming a secret, right? The secrets are starting to come out. People are starting to suspect. And sooner rather than later, things do occur. Now remember, this is 8 episodes of, and most of the last 2 episodes has nothing to do with what, it has like flashbacks of what he did, but we're getting to the point where he's gonna start spiraling to get, in the end, get caught. And the one thing that this episode does, that it marks the turning point, right? His private world is starting to spill into others' lives, right? You see how trust is all of a sudden violated. Kids, their innocence is corrupted. And now we see maybe that he is also someone who was innocent and then corrupted, right? So we can think of these kids were innocent and corrupted, but in his mentality, his mental capacity is what I wanted to say, was he somehow corrupted, in like his innocence corrupted by these other people being fascinated about the dead bodies and these pictures of them, and so they showed it to him, and maybe that's what here got corrupted. Trust violated. We know the mom and her religious beliefs and her motifs and everything that just was terrible about her. It basically violated his trust, right? And so we get to a point that this is exactly where a line can be crossed, right? And so now we will go into more and, see exactly how, he really likes one part, but in the end didn't, think that the other part was anything of importance. So that is all my thoughts for episode 3, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will continue on in episode 4 next week. Other than that, you guys have yourself a spooky week.
If you are prone to scare easily, avoiding all the scary horror movies, you'll never watch but are intrigued to. Gio and Alex watch and review, so you don't have to.